More than 200 years ago, Americans fought a revolution against big government.
He has erected a multitude of new offices and has sent hither swarms of officials to harass our people and eat out their substance.
George III and his bureaucrats taxed and controlled their lives until the people said, enough. Yet today, the government in Washington, D.C. makes you nostalgic for old King George. The royal tax collectors took about 25% from our ancestors. This year, government at all levels will extract 50% of our money to waste. And not gently. IRS agents use wiretaps, mail openings, informants, disguises, guns, chains, and jails to get every last dime. Meanwhile, at the Federal Reserve, 12 faceless bureaucrats decide your economic future in secret. How much inflation should there be next year? What should interest rates be? How much of your savings should be transferred to politicians and their favored big banks? The Supreme Court, where individual rights are supposed to be protected, think it's fine if government invades our financial privacy, spies on us in our bedrooms, regulates church schools, and restricts our free speech. Meanwhile, at the Congress, everything is up for grabs, as long as it's yours. Democrats want big spending on social welfare and foreign aid. Republicans, including President Reagan, want big spending on corporate welfare and the military. Both parties love foreign meddling and budget deficits, and both advocate economic policies that can bring you back to 1929. Your only role? Elect them to power and send them your wallet, and maybe your kids. Despite the clear mandate of the Constitution, our own government, which botches everything within the borders of the United States, tries to police the world. Is it really proper for the U.S. government to subsidize rich allies like Germany and Japan, to decide which set of thugs should run Nicaragua, to intervene in centuries-old battles in the Middle East, to overthrow governments it doesn't like, to get our 18-year-old kids killed in Lebanon or the Persian Gulf? The Founding Fathers knew that the best government is the smallest. Yet Washington taxes, spends, inflates, spies, lies, and intervenes at home and in 120 countries around the globe, while letting criminals run wild in the streets. Oh, the government has a solution. Confiscate the honest people's guns and try to jail heroes like Bernard Goetz who defend themselves. Something is drastically wrong with America. We could face depression and war if we don't do something about it. We can't count on the Republicans or Democrats. There really isn't a dime's worth of difference between them. Only one party stands for liberty in the American tradition, and that is the Libertarian Party. Founded in 1971, it is the party of principle, of Jeffersonian ideals, of the real America, and of our greatest champion, Ron Paul. Ron Paul, a practicing physician and former four-term congressman from Texas, has been a freedom fighter all his life. One of his achievements in Congress, the American Eagle gold coin, a giant step towards sound money. And this year he is running for president on the Libertarian Party ticket to give the American people a real choice.
A moderate use of government would be for government to mind its own business, to let people alone, to let the economy operate, and to let other countries live as they so choose. But I think the real radicals have been in charge for the past 50 or 60 years, and that's why we're facing so many problems today.
As a student, I'm sick and tired of the government telling me how to live my life. I want to be sure that when I graduate, I'll be able to live my life the way I want, and that's why I support Ron Paul.
There are many people who think that they can make a better world by telling people how to live, whether it's telling them what to eat or what to drink or how to act in the bedroom. And we have laws on the books and more laws proposed, and people being told by the government how they should live. And I think the American people don't want to have any part of it. And once they see what's happening, I think they're going to have to look at the views of the Libertarian Party and say, what does the Libertarian Party say about this? And clearly, we have a clear answer for it, and that is to say that the people ought to be left alone.
I'm a real estate broker, and I'm going to support Ron Paul because he's for the gold standard. The gold standard would stabilize our dollar and our interest rates and allow the young people of this country to buy their dream home again.
But the solution is really very easy. It's so easy people don't want to believe it. We should have a gold standard. Simple as that. We should take away from the politicians the power to create money out of thin air.
I know what wars are like. I don't want to see us involved in another one. And I know Ron Paul will keep us out of war. This is why I support Ron Paul.
It isn't a policy of isolationism. It's a policy of withdrawing forces. It's a policy of non-confrontation. It means that we wouldn't be taking missiles and weapons and nuclear bombs and sticking them under the nose of anybody who seems to look different than us and aggravating them and agitating in order for us to get the military budget passed. But the policy of non-intervention, the pro-American defense policy, is something that was designed by the Founding Fathers. It's a good policy, and the American people ought to have a chance to vote for it again.
If you're a self-employed person, the government does everything possible to try to harass you, tax you, and put you out of business. They want us all to be good little serfs to Washington, D.C. Well, Ron Paul thinks that every American ought to have the chance to start his or her own small business and run it the way they choose, worrying only about satisfying their customers. That's why I support Ron Paul for president.
Democrats and the Republicans have botched it up so badly. And they're never going to admit and say, well, we made a mistake and we believe in balanced budgets and we're going to balance budgets and we're going to bring the troops home and we're going to do away with the draft and we're going to let people alone and we're going to make the market free and we're going to have a gold standard. There's no chance. So yes, the American people have to look for another option, which means that there is an opportunity. There's a total vacuum out there. And so therefore, the Libertarian view, the Libertarian Party, has the answer.
In 1988, don't waste your vote on the same old politics and politicians. Vote to end IRS oppression, abolish the Fed, establish a gold standard, keep your money, stop deficits and cut the government. Live your life the way you want. Educate your children as you choose, and bring our boys home. Vote to put America first. Vote for the principles of the Founding Fathers. Vote for Ron Paul, Libertarian for President. For more information on the Ron Paul Campaign for America, call toll-free 1-800-443-0100, extension 574. Ron Paul for America.